Good morning. It's the following morning, 7:52 a.m., January 20th, 2024. This is the second part of initiation, starting with the fourth initiation onward. So we'll see where we get to. Okay, let's just get into it. Oh, here comes Mr. Come on, buddy. Put this in a little square. Yeah. You ready? All right, come sit. Come on. Come and sit. Come on. Come on, baby. Okay. Fourth initiation, the crucifixion. In Buddhist tradition, the fourth initiation is referred to as Arhat, enemy/vices. There's some Sanskrit there. Killed/conquered. That's the translation of the Sanskrit. This can be translated as the one who has conquered, the one who has killed all inner enemies. Such an individual is known as the perfected one, or an Arhat, or Pali. Pali. I had to make it bigger. Or a Paramahamsa. I hope you enjoy me trying to say these things. In Sanskrit, Buddhists believe, don't drink my tea, Salem, thank you. Buddhists believe that fourth degree initiates can remember all of, mister! Oh. Clawed my foot when he got up. Oh my god. Buddhists believe that fourth degree initiates, my cats say good morning, can remember all of their past lives. Nonetheless, to be conscious on a plane and to have control on that plane are two very different conditions. Symbolically, the fourth initiation is equated with the crucifixion, the relinquishing of all identification with what one takes as oneself. While undergoing the crucifixion, Jesus is said to have become a fourth degree initiate. According to Benjamin Creme, in 1984 there were merely 450 people at this level of initiation. I knew she was going to be here. On the planet of 4.767 billion. This was in 1984. Individual examples of those who took the fourth initiation during their lifetime include Helena Blavatsky, I told you she was going to be here, Helena Roerich, Sri Chinmoy, Lao Tse, Hermes, Zoroaster, Jesus, Krishnamurti. Looks like Krishna, but then it has M-U-R-T-I at the end. Maybe it's another incarnation of Krishna. I know that there's many. And remember, Krishna and Christ are the same thing. So that must be somebody of the Christ. That's that fluid in the spine that has to do with ascension and this initiation thing. Okay, so the 7 choices before the perfect human. Having reached the threshold of the 5th initiation, a soul does not necessarily have to enter Earth's spiritual hierarchy proper as one of the masters of the ancient wisdom. One can proceed along one of 7 paths. In theosophical literature, the 7 choices before the perfect human are that: number 1 are that of the initiate. Number 1, remains with humanity as an official hierarchy form that signifies that the 5th degree initiate decides to become a master of wisdom. That signifies that the 5th initiate decides to become a master of wisdom, remaining to serve the plan on earth. Number 2, remains with humanity as a nirmanakaya life or bodhisattva. Bodhisattva. Number 3, join the devas or angelic hosts. Number 4, joins the staff corps of the solar logos. Such beings join the masters living in etheric cities inside the sun. They are said to supervise the activities of the solar angels that direct the process of evolution of the life waves. I should have taken pictures of the definitions of those words, like solar core of the solar logos, solar angels. Ooh, I don't know if I'll be able to find that now. Okay, that direct the process of evolution of life waves, the process of reincarnation. Of the beings, both seen and unseen, on the diverse planets of our solar system. Only those living on Earth are visible, while the others abide on the etheric planes of their planets. This is what Elaine Denon's talking about. They live on another dimension. That's the etheric planes because they're spirits. Pretty sure that's what that means. I'm not exactly sure on that. But etheric planes of their planets. All the planets are said to be inhabited, but humanity has yet to acquire etheric sight. That means the spiritual sight. Number 5. That was number 4. Number 5 prepares the work of the next chain. Those who are most evolved help develop the plans for the future development of planetary civilizations throughout this solar system. And then number 6 and 7 enters nirvana, heaven, I suppose, and to become a pratyeka Buddha. Sorry, I do my best, I really do. I only speak English, and just barely well enough. Fifth initiation, the resurrection. The 5th initiation, which is also referred to as the resurrection, marks a turning point in the evolutionary journey of disciples, enabling them to join the 5th kingdom, the kingdom of souls, and serve as part of the spiritual hierarchy, furthering the plan for Earth. As 5th degree initiates, they become masters of wisdom. In this sense, the 5th initiation is considered a rebirth, as those few people who have achieved such spiritual progress now become full members of the kingdom of souls, or the spiritual hierarchy, working towards the upliftment of the world. Siddhis at this level include the ability to teleport and bilocate moderate distances and levitate within a localized area. So when we hear about extraterrestrials being able to levitate and disappear and reappear somewhere else, this is what we're talking about. This is teleportation and biolocation. So your biological matter to locate from one location to another, even if that means different planets, planes, or whatever. I mean, I haven't done it, so I don't know all about it. I'm just trying to do my best to help explain further. Okay, next page. Whoop. Okay. C.W. Leadbeater, Alice Bailey, and Benjamin Krem compiled information about the Masters of Wisdom and there are believed to be a total of 43 beings at this level of initiation, with another 17 taking the 6th initiation. Of these 43 masters, a total of 16 have been identified, 1 by C.W. Leadbeater and 9 by Alice Bailey. Leadbeater named a master called the Master Jupiter, whom he asserted is helping further the development of people, government, and the nation of India. Bailey identified the Master P, whom she contended was aiding Saint Germain to usher into the Americas the value of inclusivity or unity in diversity, characteristics typifying the age of Aquarius. Furthermore, she claimed there existed 2 different British masters, one of whom she said had inspired the birth of the labor movement. Churchill? In addition to these 3, she also wrote about the 3 Lords of Liberation, whom she attested promoted the thought form of liberty, equality, fraternity. Apart from these masters, Bailey also asserted that 3 Lords of Karma are working on this planet. These lords are said to reside on Shambhala, helping the Lord of the World, Sanat Kumara, to determine where and when souls are going to incarnate in their next lifetime. Before his death in 2016, Benjamin Creme had stated that 6 additional masters had already returned to the everyday world in order to better help humanity. They were residing in New York, Moscow, London, Geneva, Darjeeling, Darjeeling, and Tokyo. Apart from the works of these traditional Theosophists, there were dictations from 200 additional ascended masters, in which Guy Ballard and Elizabeth Clare Prophet claimed to be able to identify masters at this level beyond, including Confucius, Lord Ling, Lady Master Magda, Pallas Athena, Oh, I skipped a page. Hold on. Kuan Yin, Padre Pio, and Guy Ballard. These individuals, with the exception of Confucius, who was already a 5th degree initiate in 479 BC, however, are so I missed a little bit there, but it was probably only a line or 2. Hold on, I'll see if it says anything, because I have the original here. That was the 5th. Kuan Yin, I have it here. I just lost where I was. Pallas Athena, Kuan Yin, the great divine director, Padre Pio, Godfrey, his twin flame. In Elizabeth Clare Prophet's Ascended Master teachings, the Master Jupiter is referred to as Chanada, Chananda, Chananda. Also, Sanat Kumara has a grandson named Master Cha Ara, who is half mortal and who just recently became a master functioning at the 5th level. There, that's the full thing. Now we're moving on to the 6th initiation. The ascension, or masterhood. The seventh ascension is known as the initiation of the Bodhisattva in Buddhism, or that of the Avatar in Hinduism. I loved Avatar: The Last Airbender. At this level, and the other Avatar, there's two. At this level also is said to be associated with the Chakshusha Manu and the Vivasvatu Manu and the Mahachohan. The notion of the Christ is said to refer to a role, the role of the world teacher, not an actual being. The Theosophists identified the being fulfilling the role of the world teacher as Maitreya, although Maitreya is known under different names by diverse religious faiths. Kalki Avatar to the Hindus, Christ to the Christians, Maitreya to Buddhists, the Messiah to Jews, Imam Mahdi to Muslims, and the Purushottam to the Zoroastrians. Thus, according to Theosophists, Maitreya is said to be actually one of the same being, have impacting all the great world's religions over thousands of years. So like a reincarnation of the same being. It's the divine creator. That's why they say Jesus is God, because he basically reached that divine level. The others were too. It's not just him. So, okay, now we're over thousands of years. Now we're on to the 8th initiation, Buddhahood. Level 8 is that of the Buddha. 8 is also the number of infinity, if you think about that. At this level, according to C.W. Leadbeater, are the 3 Pratyeka Buddhas, whose task is to focus the 7 rays from Sanat Kumara, from God, through Dwayakul to the Chohans of the 7 rays. They do not interact directly with the human race. Alice A. Bailey stated that communication among beings at this level is entirely by telepathy. According to Theosophist Alfred Percy Sinnett, beings at this level can freely roam both in interplanetary space and nearby interstellar space. The 9th initiation, Godhood. Level 9 is the Lord of the World, Sanat Kumara, the eternal youth and the Ancient of Days, that is believed by Theosophists to be the Lord of the world, i.e. the governing deity of earth, God. C.W. Leadbeater stated that Sanat Kumara's consciousness is so extended a nature that it comprehends at once all the life of our globe. I said that in my video about Source. In his hands are the powers of cyclic destruction, for he wields Fohat, beams composed of bubbles in space, used by the theosophical deities to materialize or dematerialize material objects. In its higher forms, and can deal directly with cosmic forces outside our solar system. Beings at this level demonstrate omniscience. I've seen that word before. Omniscience. Dang it. OMNISCIENCE, regarding events occurring on any, like a knowing? like being connected to source and knowing what's going on at all times, everywhere. Whoosh, that must suck. They probably used to be able to control it, but it would suck for right now. For me. Regarding events occurring on any singular planet, the capacity to materialize objects, number 2, and 3, the ability to affect at a distance happening in other nearby planetary system. Yeah, so like I said, to know what's going on everywhere all at once. The 10th initiation, the Silent Watcher. The 10th initiation is considered to symbolize perfection and is used to describe the Silent Watcher. It also denotes the planetary logos of Earth. In order to reach the status of a planetary logos, this being would have had to have been a high-level planetary deva in some other solar system before it incarnated inside our planet at the time of the creation of the world. According to C.W. Leadbeater, the planetary logos is functioning at the 10th level of initiation, and Sanat Kumara is in continuous telepathic rapport with the planetary logos, functioning as its spokes deity. So that's what God is doing. So basically that's where we're wondering, where did God come from? Well, probably the logos. Spokes deity. Since the formulation in the early 1970s, by James Lovelock of the Gaia hypothesis, the idea of the Earth Mother has been popularized. Yeah, because there's a Heavenly Mother and Father. I've always said that ever since I was small. I always thought it was rude to leave out the mother, you know? Like, what about me? As such, the Theosophist's conception of the planetary logos of Earth, so like the Gaia spirit, although renamed, maybe I shouldn't put my opinions in. Although renamed in the New Age, is widely accepted. The Gaia hypothesis, Earth Mother spirit. Levels of initiation beyond the 10th level. In theosophical teachings of Alice Bailey, there is a powerful being living inside the sun, serving the solar logos, called the Avatar of Synthesis. Its work is to transmit the 7 rays from the heart of the sun through the 7 spirits before the solar throne to all life waves of the solar system. That sounds like the Aether. I just said I wouldn't put in my opinions. C.W. Leadbeater stated, the ladder of being, of initiation, extends upward into the clouds of light, into which few of us can yet penetrate. And when we ask those who stand higher than we, and know infinitely more than we do, all they can say is that it extends beyond their sight also. They know very many more steps of it than we do, but it goes further, but it goes still further, onwards and upwards to unimaginable heights of glory, and no one knows its end. If the concept, so that's why extraterrestrials are sometimes so vague, because they don't know either. But that's okay. We can all learn it together. I think that's the point. If the concept of the multiverse is true, then, as Theosophists long maintained, other spiritual hierarchies exist in other universes, and there are many other cosmoses besides our own. The Terra Infinita map. That's what I thought of. Well, that's the end of it. That's it. There's a reference. I took pictures of all that too. There's quite a bit there for further reading. There's a few books. Initiation, Human and Solar, the Lucis Publishing Company from 1922. I mean, these are all very old texts. I don't even know if you'd be able to get a hold of them. But C.W. Leadbeater, The Masters and the Path, Adyar, Madras, India, 1925, from the Theosophical Publishing House. I don't think I need to read all of this, but again, if you'd like to read it all, it is in the video where it's the Ouroboros, and there's a Buddhist symbol and a couple other things in there, and that's the Theosophical symbol. It's before deletion, initiation. That one. I'll post it at the end of this video. Clearly I'm still a bit tired, but I'm glad that we got that over with. Let's see. The Great White Brotherhood is noted in Beliefs and Practices. I actually found a channel called that. The Seven Rays. It's on YouTube. It's called The Great White Brotherhood. They have a bunch of different lessons. I don't know who they are though, so, but it's been sounding good to me. I actually figured out about how when negative energy is sent, whatever it is, doesn't matter, that in nullifying it and hoping that they find God and Jesus, and instead of sending it back to them. And then I actually clicked on one of their videos and they said the exact same thing. So I was pretty happy about that, and that's why I liked their channel. So I subscribed. Beliefs and Practices, Karma, Reincarnation, Initiation, Age of Aquarius, Seven Rays, Ascension, Great White Brotherhood, Organizations, The Bridge to Freedom, The Summit Lighthouse, yeah. There isn't anything. Oh, I should have clicked on that. External links. What is initiation? M.R. Jaqua. Jaqua. I might look that up. But let's see how long we're at. Oh, we're at 28 minutes. Okay, so let's just look that up really quickly. If my video cuts off, I apologize, and it was just meant to be. Okay, we're still going good. What is initiation? I found it. M.R.J.A. That's the initials, M.R., and then J.A.Q.U.A. When Blavatsky occasionally calls someone an initiate, just what does she mean? As with many terms, initiation also must have several meanings. One meaning is to be given privy knowledge of teachings in an esoteric school. Another meaning is to go through a ritual or ceremony as an entrance or stage in a fraternity, genuine, esoteric, or not. Yet another meaning, and the most important I believe, is to undergo a certain level of mystic experience. The latter, in other traditions, is called enlightenment, moksha, Satori, cosmic consciousness, Christ consciousness, and many other terms and allusions, not illusions, but ALLUSIONS. It is probably not arguable that there are different levels of mystic experience, and not all of these should be correctly labeled initiation. Small initiations might be considered the gaining of some sort of knowledge or successfully passing tests of character in life. Initiation, in its chief meaning, should probably refer to a significant or perhaps quantum level change in consciousness. I think this is called the fourth initiation in theosophical literature, and can also aptly be termed the death experience in mystical terminology. There are many mystical experience accounts in literature that fit this term, some more so than others, perhaps some less impressive accounts in which the later life supports the idea might be recapitulations or a soul remembrance of a more profound and determining experience in a former life and lives. If an adept was reborn and had to go through this stage again in a new life, the experience would not be traumatic as it would be to the never before initiated. The soul would have a place for it from having experienced it before. When possibly describing a point in evolution of the race as a whole, an initiation is reaching this state before the majority of the human race. Blavatsky describes what seems the equivalent of initiation as the day be with us, that day when man, freeing himself from the trammels of ignorance and recognizing fully the non-separateness of the ego within his personality, erroneously regarded as his own from the universal ego, anima supramundi, merges thereby into the one essence to become not only with us, the manifested universal lives, which are one life, but that very life itself. So to become one with Source. So what is the dividing line between mystical experience in general and the level of mystical experience that is initiation? I believe it is what can be called ego death, which is really a destruction of the personality or ego's innate perspective of itself as permanent and isolated from the rest of the universe. In initiation, the personal self realizes that it really doesn't exist except as a Maya, co-equal with all other Maya egos. What does exist is the universal self, which is like Source itself, and we're all little pieces, like I said, which also has an individualized aspect, or the monad. This death experience or initiation is the human monad becoming self-conscious. It is a realization by the human self and personality of its own and individual divine source. A man's higher self, or the Manasaputra and Dhahan Kohan, he is overshadowed. Overshadowed by. He is overshadowed by, does not need this realization, as it has passed this stage long ago. I've never read this before. In many accounts I've seen of what I assume to be this initiation, it is not a pleasant experience, but terrifying. Other mystic experiences in which the personal ego remains intact can be pleasant and infinitely elevating. When the personal ego realizes it does not ultimately exist, it is a terrible experience. The problem in seeking enlightenment is that which is doing the seeking is innately the problem itself. The problem with seeking enlightenment is you're not supposed to seek it. You're supposed to let it flow and come to you. Seeking it defeats the purpose of discovering the mysteries. Blavatsky gives an allegory from mythology. Ahriman destroys the bull created by Ormazd, Ormazd, which is the emblem of terrestrial elusive life, the germ of sorrow, and forgetting that the perishing finite seed must die, in order that the plant of immortality, the plant of the spiritual eternal life, should sprout and live. So like I said, we have to die in order for another transition, another experience of this consciousness, of life itself, to take place. Ahriman is proclaimed the enemy, the opposing power, the devil. The personal ego is the seed developed by evolution, that it might die to give birth to universal ego or self. Blavatsky writes elsewhere on this death of the personality initiation, when Josephus, speaking of Elijah and Enoch, remarks that it is written in the sacred books they, Elijah and Enoch, disappeared, but so that nobody knew that they died. It means simply that they had died in their personalities. As yogis die to this day in India, or even some Christian monks to the world, they disappear from sight of men and die. On the terrestrial plane, even for themselves, a seemingly figurative way of speaking, yet literally true, in the ego death and the death of the personality of self. L. Gordon Plumer, in his talk, The Sacred Seasons and Initiation, claims that in all there are 7 degrees of initiation. There's a picture of that in my Welcome to the Jesus Space Army. The first 3 are preparatory, and the 4th is for experiential. Yeah. When one moves into the 4th initiation, which is related to the winter solstice, he has learned that the 4 seasons of the year relate generally to the 4 periods of human life: infancy, adolescence, maturity, and then death, or the passing. The initiation of the winter solstice, which is the 4th, brings the initiant to the point where he experiences what he had previously been taught. He begins actually to learn by experience, and when he comes back, he then is able to teach. In analogy, the first 3 preparatory and unspecific initiations correspond to spring, summer, and fall. The 4th initiation corresponds to winter and death. Plumer writes elsewhere, in commenting on Purucker's Dialogues chapter, The Cross of Initiation and the Christian Crucifixion Story as an initiation myth, that the first cry, translated as, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" was the death cry of the personality of the neophyte. Its death being by the right of the spear thrust, it was indeed the anguished cry from the personal man who is dying and who feels forsaken by all of the higher parts of his nature. Purucker states in the same chapter that death and initiation are identical. He further explains that after the death experience and initiation, a glorification follows. The neophyte is not dependent on outside spiritual inspiration. He thereafter has the potential of teaching from his own source of understanding. Is that what I'm doing? Even in a genuine mystery school, a prepared student is not assured of success. All depends on his own strength, motivation, and purity, Rucker writes. The soul which cannot stand the burning fire returns either a madman or returns but to die, that or success. So you either go crazy, you die, or succeed. As genuine mystery schools are far and few between, why? One wonders what is the fate of those who undergo this experience outside such a school. Oh, I think I'll just be just fine, thank you. Initiation is not a special state created by Theosophy, Buddhism, or any mystery school. It is a specific experience and naturally occurring level of perspective in the order of the cosmos and how the universe works. A real mystery school emulates nature and its processes. The attempt at striving for enlightenment is a speeding of what occurs to every successful member of the human race over long eons of time. This natural process has been observed with all its ramifications, and the school established to best ensure safety and success through proper knowledge and purity. A mystery school is based on the principle of nature. It does not synthetically create anything. A mystery school is not necessary to achieve enlightenment or initiation, but the idea is that it would be a priceless and possibly life-saving aid. I agree. Like, why wasn't there one for me? I wasn't interested in anything in regular school. I would have loved to go to a mystery school, and I'd still go to learn the mysteries of God's great school for mankind and everybody else in the kingdom of souls. Goodness. Yeah. If initiation is a natural process or occurrence, which it is, then it would seem obvious that many undergo this death experience without being a part of any philosophic school or having any previous knowledge of it. I didn't. I just fell into it, like I said. I would bet that 9 times out of 10, the experience is accidental, without the person striving for it. It's true. And the results of the experience, multitudinous. That probably there's multiple outcomes. Some, as Pururecker, I'm tired of saying this dude's name. Pururecker, whatever. Sorry, whoever that person is, I apologize. Infers above. Wait. Some, as Pururecker infers above, lose their reason. So maybe they go crazy. I'm trying not to. I first heard of the idea of enlightenment as a death experience about 25 years ago from a leader of a small esoteric group. The group's founder had undergone such an experience and formulated a system around it. When I began studying Theosophy, I found that his death experience and enlightenment were compatible with theosophical descriptions. Like I did, I recognized things matched up with my own experiences. We might call it different things, like I called it soul school. Oh, my throat. That's when I know it's almost time to stop. But it's the same thing. I joined the group for a number of years and began searching in literature and among encounters for similar similarly described current experiences. So far, I think I found about half a dozen cases I'm fairly sure of. One was a high-profile lawyer who, after a serious car accident, robbed him of his abilities and then losing his family and becoming homeless, had a profound experience while sleeping in a graveyard. Another was a man who spent much of his life in and out of mental institutions. Another possible case was also a short-term resident of a mental institution. One also reads isolated accounts here and there in literature. The article in Reader's Digest of some years back, I Died at 10:52 p.m., is one example. A question, thus far, I would only possibly classify one Theosophist I've encountered in the death experience category of initiation, a lifelong mystically oriented man who describes some terrifying experiences he went through when young. Of the conventional philosophic schools and religions, probably Buddhism, Zen, and Chan have the highest number of experiential initiates. As initiation, enlightenment is part of the goals of Buddhism. And the chief goal of Zen and Chan. I'm not knowledgeable about Hindu yogis and schools, although Ramana Maharshi is one sure case of enlightenment, it seems. One thing I have learned is that one must be careful when he asks for and seeks. Because one has to pay the full price for every genuine accomplishment. With bankruptcy a possibility if the accomplishment and price is too high. Some of the terrors of childhood are outlined in the Mahatma letters, and striving for childhood is doubtless in some aspects identical with the search for enlightenment and initiation. Personally, the wind is blowing, my ladder is sliding around on the building, and I have gone far enough for this lifetime. Oh. There are some references at the bottom. The secret doctrine is referenced 3 times from 3 different pages. Theosophy World, May 1998. The Dialogues of G. de Purucker III. Oh my goodness, he's the 3rd one. The Theosophical University Press. The Eclectic Theosophist, March 15, 1974. And Dialogues 3, page 265. Those were the footnotes for this article. And that's the end. So, I'm going to read one more thing. Let's check the time. Oh, perfect. God's Great School for Man, the greatest of mystery schools. The world is the schoolroom of God. Our being in school does not make us learn, but within that school is the opportunity for all learning. It has its grades and its classes, its sciences and its arts, and admission to it is the birthright of man. Its graduates are its teachers, its pupils are all created things. Its examples are nature and its rules are God's laws. Those who would go into the greater colleges and universities must first, day by day and year by year, work through the common school of life and present to their new teachers the diplomas they have won, upon which is written the name that none may read save those who have received it. The hours may seem long, and the teachers cruel, but each of us must walk that path, and the only ones ready to go onward are those who have passed through the gateway of experience. God's Great School for Man. And that was from The Initiates of the Flame by Manly P. Hall. He who lives the life shall know the doctrine. Wonderful. I hope you've enjoyed that. I certainly did. I'm glad that I found that second article. I just randomly looked for it. You saw that happen, so I will link all of this below. Always look in the description boxes below because I have information there, access to free versions of the books that I'm reading from, and always the stuff that I find will be helpful and beneficial to the things that I am speaking about. So, I'm going to go get on with my day now. I hope that you enjoy your day also, and I will talk with you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.